Welcome back to the Doggies. It is the end of the season. We just had our first bowl game. It was a loss, to be fair. But now it is time to do some recruiting, and we have started out with a bang. The season is not even over. We don't know who the national champion is, but we have signed Leon Crosby, a 3-star left tackle from Kiln, Mississippi. Anybody else? No. But we are moving forward very quickly on these guys. We're the only people to offer them as well, so we should have some help coming on the line and at tight end. But as I said, it is not quite the end of the season, so I'm going to go ahead and sim forward. We did sign another person here in week 3 of the bowl season, Kevin Darling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think that's how you pronounce it. Right end committed to us. Do we get anybody else? Let's very quickly advance through this so we can go back and look. Okay, so we have a bunch of guys that were in the top, which is very good. So if we get all of these guys, I mean, no one else has offered them. So this is a lot of 3-star recruits that should be coming in to join Darling. Oh, wait, hold on. Can we wait a second? Is this for real? K-State. Oh, what? Okay. K-State versus Utah, which is 2 Big 12 teams, right? So OU and Michigan were 1 and 2, and they lost in the semifinals. And now K-State is playing Utah here for the national championship. Wow. Utah going through Oregon, Tulane, and Michigan. And Michigan, if you don't remember, if we go look at the awards, look at this on defensive backs for this Michigan squad, because they are nasty. Best defensive back. Look at that. The top 4 guys all play for Michigan. Damn. This is like at 97 or 96 whenever Woodson was there. But then they also have Xander Grant down here at number 9. They are a loaded defense. And OU, of course, has, if we can get there, the player of the year, their quarterback Jackson Arnold playing well. But neither of those teams will be in the final. Let's see who wins between the Wildcats and the Utes. Okay, before we see who wins, I did have to show you that we did get a couple more commits. We got that tight end. We also got George DiNucci from Shirts, Texas. Anybody else? No. So we got 2 commits, and they are both 3 stars, both in the passing game. So we did one of them from JUCO. That's not ideal, but we beat out Texas, which is kind of massive because that should be a pipeline state for them, and it's not for us. I don't think. I could be wrong, but yeah. So 2 solid players. We got the 100th best tight end and the 69th best wide receiver. Nice. We will take it at this stage for sure. Let's see who won that national title. It is going to have been Utah. The Utes go out on top. Jace Brown, 162 yards, 3 touchdowns, fuels them to a title. And now we can skip forward to the transfer portal.
Come on, Daddy.
Okay, actually, I apologize. I did forget that we need to go through our graduating seniors. Okay, of course, our 2 running backs are gone. We knew that was definitely coming. We also lost the entire right side of our defense. We lost our punter. Coombs is gone. Hobson's gone. Noah's gone. Just a lot of great players. We lost Foreman. He kind of never really fit with the team because we weren't throwing enough because we had DePaul. Thank goodness. DePoo is out of here.
Well, that was just as bad as Kazam.
Weeks. Bimbo Coles is now graduated. Unfortunately, McLawler, our stud tight end, is gone. Van Claiborne played quite a bit for us. But yeah, definitely some big names here. Obviously, losing guys like Tyson and Strickland is going to be massive. But then just so many good defenders were losing. Combs, Hobson, Collins was such a stud this year. And then Weeks on the line, and Bimbo Coles was just, first year was our GOAT. And then kind of fell off because we got some better players, but still was filling a role very well. Also was all the way here from Bridgeport, Connecticut. We love to see that. But as the old guys go away, that makes room for new guys. Now for real, let's jump to the transfer portal. Oh, before we even jump to the transfer portal, we have another recruit. Braden Witherspoon is here from Kalamazoo, another right guard filling those holes. Ben Conrad, we're moving up his list. Probably going to sign him pretty soon. Here we are. It's time for the transfer portal. Before we jump in there, let's actually see if anyone got drafted. I'm going to guess no. No draft picks for us. That's too bad. Okay, so we are going to have a lot more points available now because we have signed up a bunch of dudes. Now, have we fallen off of anybody? No, not really. So in the transfer portal here, what are we seeing here? Okay, there's gonna be a ton of guys probably. Oh baby. Okay, let's go by rank here. Okay, so we're gonna miss out on a lot of these guys. We just don't have the right play style for them, but hopefully we could find let's find the highest rated guy we can sign potentially. Ooh, okay, see, here we go. Mapimba. We could get Mapimba. He kind of likes us. He is from Missouri, so decently close. We could bring him in. Also, Flowers, potentially. Might bring him in, might try. Ooh, Michael Jordan the 4th is here.
Who?
Oh, we got to get Michael Jordan the fourth. Okay. As you can see, there's a lot. Oh, Brian Dawkins. Okay. I'm not going to make you sit through me sorting through all these guys and seeing who we want to target. So I will see you back here in a second. Okay. Nothing too earth shattering was done. I added a couple of guys. I think what's this, 5 dudes. So mostly on defense because we only have a couple of 4-stars that are even remotely interested. So Mpemba, Flowers, both getting the max stuff we can get. Hopefully I will go ahead and schedule a visit very soon. I have a lot of visits coming up in the next 2 weeks for guys we've been working on over the course of the year. And then Lyle Peters, Roland Haynes, I almost said Ronald, and Caleb Purdy. So just trying to get guys, I think he's like an 80th overall recruit. I liked him because he's a freshman. And then I think both these guys were, I think all 3 of these guys were top 100s in the transfer portal. I have all these guys coming on visits. And as you can see, most of them are being recruited by almost no one, which is good because it means we'll get them. It's potentially bad though, because that also means they might turn out to be busts. But I'm just hoping I found some diamonds in the rough. I don't do a lot of scouting because I just don't have a ton of time to do it. And by time, I don't mean my time. I mean time. I don't have enough hours to work with. Let's go ahead and jump forward into week number 2 of the transfer portal and see if we get any big recruits. Okay, there we go. First one off the board. Cameron Whitaker comes to us from Wayne, New Jersey, a center. And Nick Lorenz has dropped off. He has left our, man, he went to Houston. Okay, we don't need him too bad because we did have a couple of guys who were pretty solid. But yeah, kind of annoying there to see Lorenz already fall off. But at least we got a nice center to come in. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. How many hours do we have to work with now? 315 because a lot of these guys came in on visits. So I can't bring them in again, which is good. It also means I can now switch to other visits. And you might be wondering, why are you still looking at this punter who is a bust? Well, we do need a punter eventually. And, you know, I don't punt a lot, so I'm not super worried about him being good. But yeah, we're just going to work with what we got. And we've moved into their top rankings for everybody except for Mpemba. Now, Mpemba's not being recruited by anybody massive, so there is a chance we could get in here. Do we know his stuff yet? Okay, we know he likes our playing style. So let's go ahead and schedule him for a visit. There's that. Okay, and then we'll also add DM the player. So we're going to max out Mpemba, try to bring this guy in. Who else do we want to max out? Okay, I like, where is he? Flowers. We definitely want to max him out. Do we know? Yeah, he wants playing style. So we're going to go 3rd time. Actually, let me just go ahead and do all this so you don't have to watch me talk to myself. I'll catch you back when I have things fixed. Okay, honestly, not too much to say there. Basically, what I went through is just maxed out these guys as much as possible. And then I went through a couple of guys who, if we switch over to this, I went through and tried to find guys who are potentially like this guy, maybe thinking about flipping. Actually, I think we flipped him, to be honest. But yeah, just guys that might potentially look to go to another school. Just try to hold off them as much as we can. Again, I don't have a ton of hours to work with, so I just got to do whatever I can to hold on to these guys. But that's about all we can do for now. We're going to cross our fingers, hope that we can move up on Mpemba's thing. I mean, as you can see, we moved up past Memphis and Northwestern, Arkansas State, and is that Texas State? I'm not sure who the #1 team is right now, but we're sitting in the house. We got him a scholarship. We're doing everything we can to try to bring this dude in. He's going to be a huge thing for us. And Aaron Flowers, of course, he looks like we're making big progress on him. The bad news is we're just ahead of Texas A&M. They could definitely swoop in, make this guy a priority. So say your prayers, and let's hope we can bring this guy in. Okay, we have gotten a new recruit, at least one. Eric Gentry, the left end, a 3-star from Bellevue, Nebraska is here. The good news is that Purdy, we are #1. We're very comfortably there. We've also moved into #1 for Mpemba. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, buddy! Wait!
All right, not a lot to get into here. I did add Mr. Brian Dawkins Jr. to the list. I'm probably not going to go for him. I just offered him a scholarship because I had 5 extra hours. You know, might as well as try. But yeah, it's looking pretty solid. If we go to top classes, we're not going to be like nationally ranked, but we're pretty, 69 in the country, not terrible. If we get both of these 4 stars and a couple more 3 stars, should be looking pretty solid for next year. We are eventually going to run into a depth problem, but hopefully by the time that comes, we'll have so many stars it won't really matter. But yeah, I'm just going to head into the next week, and we got a lot of guys that we're #1 on, so hopefully we just stay there. Of course, probably not going to stay there on all of them. As you just saw, we lost a guy to Texas, probably going to continue losing dudes, but if we can get some of our own, that's good too. So let's go ahead and see what happens. We'll just sim forward. I'll keep you here. Week 3, and we get, there you go, Aaron Flowers, Forney, Texas.
He is him.
2 4-stars this season. I think we had 1 last year. Roland Haynes adds his name to the list from Norton, Kansas. And let's see. Oh, but Mpemba left.
No! Oh, God.
I had everything committed to that guy. He was maxed out. I couldn't do anything more. But Impemba is officially an Arkansas State Red Wolf. Is that their name? And oh man, I think that means we're going to play them because I think we're in their conference as well. That's a big loss. Okay, that does, of course, free us up to go try to find some more 3-stars that we could potentially bring in. We have 260 hours to work with now. So Impemba, sucks to lose him. Brian Dawkins, we're never mind. He doesn't want us anymore, but sucks to lose Impemba. I'm going to go find some guys that we can invest some time in now that we have all that free time. And I will see you here in a second. Okay, basically all I've really done is gone through and checked out a couple of guys who don't have any current offers and just gone through and given them offers. Try to, one last big blast on this guy.
It's a family show, y'all.
Let's just see if we can jump up to the top of their board. As you can see right here, we moved up from 69 to 49. So a 20-point jump just from signing 2 dudes. And we are very well within striking distance of this #1 class in the Sun Belt. And I think I'm pretty sure we're going to hold on for a top 50. We may be able to move into a top 40. Let's see what that looks like. Obviously not going to move into a top 25 class by any means. Oklahoma State can't even do it, but they never do it. As a fan of that team, a top 40 class would be Tennessee, 168. We are 152. Now, how does Tennessee has a 4? Wow. They have almost no one in there. So they have 7 4-stars, 4 3-stars, but because their class is so small, they're really low. Tulane, look at Tulane. Let's go ahead and see how we do. I'll hold you here for this last week of recruiting. And of course, people will trickle in after this, but there we go. We got Lyle Peters from Aurora, Colorado. Caleb Purdy signs. We wanted that one big time, St. Louis. Rudy Big Hill from River Rouge, Michigan. Get another right guard. Tight end, that's 2 tight ends this year. Maybe went a little too heavy on tight ends, but that's okay. Andre Abanaconda from Texarkana, Arkansas. Take that, Arkansas State. Tony Dye, late one we brought in. Marvin Kaysen, another late one I brought in. Devin, a lot of safeties, as you can see, but he's from Tulsa. I had to go for my boy. We did get this guy. Probably not going to see the field much as a 2-star. But yeah, we got all of these dudes. That's pretty huge.
Oh, that's a big load.
Do we have a top 40 class? Let's see. Because Tennessee, look at Tennessee. They jumped up to 26 on the last day. They're running a ton of 3-star guys. We are the 39th class.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
We filled out our roster, 32 3-stars, 2 4-stars, 1 2-star. Huge signing day for us. Went all the way up into a top 40 class. Next year, we're aiming for the top 25. Hopefully we can get there. And now we got to do some position changes. Definitely got to move those athletes around. And I will show you what the team looks like here in a second. So we have 5 strong safeties. I believe we also have 5 free. Oh, we have like 8 free safeties. Here's where it gets to be a real problem. Look at this cornerback. We have a log jam, way too many quarterbacks on this team. They're all good, but does it really matter if you have 10 of them? Probably not. And the real problem is, again, like the defense, we are absolutely loaded on the defensive side of the ball. We have players at every position. We could go 4 deep almost with most of these position groups. Offensive line also loaded. So many so many offensive line here. The problem is, well, except for center, I guess. But the problem is where we get into it very quickly. Plenty of tight ends. Could probably make one of them a wide receiver if I wanted to. Wide receivers were okay. We would be better here, except I had to turn 2 of them in to running backs because we just didn't have enough. So we have all these guys are receiving backs, which is good because our quarterback is 77 overall as a freshman. So the hope there is that we'll be doing a lot of passing, a lot more moving the ball through the air. But yeah, we got to get some running backs in this team because it's looking dire. Okay, we are almost wrapped up here, but I want to go ahead and show you the schedule we put together. So it's pretty much exactly what the computer had. They had UAB, FCS West, and Clemson. I like those 3. I don't remember who we had in this Virginia Tech slot, but I thought let's go for 2 ranked teams this year. Be fun to go to Lane Stadium and Clemson Memorial, see what those stadiums look like. But this is a big one. Circle your calendars. We're going to Arkansas State, going to see what Impemba is up to. I went ahead and looked at him. He's an 85 rated middle linebacker. Would have been one of the best players on our team, so gutted not to get him. But I think the schedule looks pretty solid. And then really quickly, I will just run you through a few things before we get out of here. I'm not going to hold you here for very long. Over preseason All-Americans in the Sun Belt, I think we're getting disrespected a little bit. I don't think we have a single guy on the first team, and then we only have 2 guys on the second team. So Jarito, who has been at risk for transfer for a while, and then Toby Peterson. None of our cornerbacks make the list. Our star safety that we brought in doesn't make the list, but I think the team looks mostly okay. Real quick, I haven't done the red shirts yet, so I'll go through and do that offline. I'll also do recruiting offline, show you what I'm thinking about there before the first set of games. But yeah, Clint Ware is going to be the star. He's a freshman quarterback, 78 overall, plenty of room to grow. Option king, going to love this guy. H-back, not quite as good. Varner is going to be our star, but all these guys are good receivers out of the backfield. In fact, I wish I could use DiNucci because the safety valve and speed are going to make him very good back there, but you know, what can you do? Fullback, we don't really care about that. Wide receivers, same guys. We haven't made any changes. Scooter Page, Peaky, and then LJ Young has finally moved up the depth chart a little bit. I mean, do we care about these positions? Tight end, Vi Presidente is still there. And then, you know, pretty decent across the line. Jarito, 83 overall, but mostly we're looking at like 79, 80, except for right tackle, which we have a little bit of a downswing here. Spanway, not the best, but, you know, we could take it. We have good right tackles last year, so hopefully we can build these guys up. Garland's an 81, continuing to be very solid as a power rusher. Right end, not quite as good, but Forsyth still solid. DT is where things get fun because we have Peterson, we have Gracial, we have Bloom, we have Becker, just a murderer's row of guys that can play good football in the trenches. And then, of course, our star, Peter Agude, 84 overall. Look at that speed for a right outside linebacker. And he's listed as a run stopper, but man, he is blazing for that spot. At middle linebacker would have been very nice to beat Arkansas State for that recruit, but unfortunately, we're going to have to go with Cardi once again. Right outside linebacker. Gates is here. Underwood just behind him. Nobody really to write home about. Then at cornerback, here we go. Jericho Washington, Mills, Moon, Holland, Purdy. It goes on and on. Stovall even. I mean, these guys are just so good. Fortunately, we're going to have them for at least one more year. I might redshirt Holland to keep him around for another year, but yeah, we are stacked at cornerback. Kayson's pretty good. And then, of course, our guy we brought in, Aaron Flowers, is going to be very, very good this year, I hope. Now, we do not start the season ranked, which is too bad. But I think things are going to go pretty well for us this year. Hopefully build on last year's 8-6 record. Maybe win a bowl game this year. The real thing we got to start doing is figuring out how to get people drafted to the NFL, which means we got to recruit some big name recruits. Thankfully, if I go over here, I haven't filled my board out at all, but just to show you really quickly, if we go to top prospects and we go to rank, so we do have a couple guys who could potentially come in, right? We have guys that are at least willing to hear us out. I mean, we're probably not going to get them, but I'm going to pick 3 or 4 of these guys to try to really target them. And then from there, we'll go down off the 5 stars, work our way down, try to get, last year we had 2 4 stars. If this year we can get 5, that would be great. But yeah, the goal is a 5-star. We need to get somebody drafted to the NFL. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all figured out. And next week we will be jumping straight into some games. So I will see you then. Goodbye.
Thank you.